Okay, so when installing your caps on here, you're going to do 20 foot-pounds. Sorry, 15 foot-pounds or 20 newton meters, and then a quarter turn or 90-degree turn on them. And these are 10 mil. Okay, so 20 or 15 foot-pounds, 20 newton meters. Okay, then we get a marker. 90 degrees. Right there, top dead center. Beautiful. Now we can start putting the head back together. Alright, so now we're installing the bottom end, getting this closed up. This is your oil pump. It's pretty easy to install. This side goes in here. There's a little rubber gasket, which is also inside of here. I don't think my kit comes with new ones, if I'm being honest, but they sit in there good. And that sits in there. And then you have your drive gear, which is on right here, if you can see it. See that right there? That's your drive gear. That gets through this hole from the top of the engine. I'll show you that once I flip it over. But there's two bolts that bolt this sucker in, and you need to have the I'll grab the rest of the stuff to show you. Okay, so when you install this, you're gonna have this little bracket thing, two bolts like this, and then you'll have your rubber-ish PCV hose. This goes into your flame trap, and you need to install this, and you need to use these brackets. So we'll kind of put her in like so. That one goes in there. This one goes in here. Put these down. And you can see when you feed it up in, you want it to go through this dude right in here. Well, it might actually be easier to install it. There we go. And it goes in all the way. There we go. It sits just like that. And you want it behind here and behind this because you don't want it flopping into your crankshaft. Just going to show you a little bit better angle. Wraps around. And then sits just like that. That's how you want it. Alright, now what we're doing is installing the rear main seal, and you just want to get this surface kind of cleaned off a bit. I'm going to put gasket maker. This is what I do for everything, so I'm kind of used to rotaries. So I gasket maker both sides of a paper gasket. So, excuse me, I'm going to use Permatex Black and just gasket around this whole thing. I already got it on my rear main seal plate. You see right there, I'm letting it tack up a bit. I have my new rear main seal in as well, all cleaned up. Make sure everything's nice and clean. And then we just go around, and you want a very light, flat coat, and then clean up any extras. You don't want any of this inside your motor. I mean, obviously a little bit will get in there. It's not going to be the absolute end of the world, but as little as possible, the better. And you really want to get in these corners. And pretty much what I do with gasket maker is I get it on, I let it tack up for a few minutes, and then I put everything on, and then I do a light torque, then I wait like 20 minutes, and then I torque it down. Just 2 locating pins. Oh shit, I forgot to put on my paper gasket. Oops. See, this is why you do stuff. This is why you watch YouTube. You can watch everybody else make mistakes. You don't do it. Oh, way. Right there. Right there. This is all nice and lubed up. Typically, you'd want to do this off the engine stand if possible. It makes it a lot easier. There we go. Nice and on there. We'll tap it. Just light taps. And you got 10 millimeter. I mean 10 millimeters. You have 6 10 millimeters. Nice. Okay, so let that tack, and we'll come back through, clean it up. Now we're gonna move on to the front. Okay, so these are all torqued down to 8 foot-pounds. These are torqued down to 21 foot-pounds, or as close as you can get. It's really hard to get it's really difficult to get a torque gauge or a torque wrench in there, at least on this back one. And now I'm just gonna do this. And there we go. Let's clean that off so when I lay down fresh gasket, it's ready to go. Okay, now on to the front. So now with the rear main seal on, we're going to do the front main. And I'm going to do the same thing, coat it with some RTV black, put the gasket on it, coat the other side of the engine, put it on there, let it tack up, bolt it down. Now while we wait for this to tack up and dry, I'm going to do the waterfall. Same idea. Okay, that took forever. I got the valves all installed. It was, I mean, if you ever installed valve keepers, you know, it is not fun. But that means we can clean up my camshaft, which is a B-cam. If I can find a little marking. I don't know if you can, but it's right there. Try and get a catch, whatever. But it's a B-cam. It's not the M-cam like standard, which is really nice. So I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then we're going to install it in here. And just like every other bearing, you know, lube up all of the, pretty much lube up everything, honestly, because this is a pretty important part. This is where stuff kind of starts to really matter for timing of the engine and getting it to run properly. It's a non-interference motor, so you're not going to like hurt anything if you don't do this right, but it's still good practice because maybe, you know, sometimes you might be building an engine and don't realize it's a interference, and then, you know, just good to be cautious. So we'll get these things in, and you can see that this is why I swapped to the other distributor, the front mount distributor, because there is no slot here for the rear mount, and I don't want to run a B or a M cam. So get this nice and cleaned. And the front of the engine is over here, so you install a little mounting thing here. Just very gingerly lower her in. Go. Cam cap 4. Sometimes these can get a little damaged, but these are okay enough. I'm just going to reuse them. You can get like inserts to have these machined out, but this is not like a high-end race engine or anything. So, and then the numbers face this way, boop, right in order, super easy. Do you guys like this style of video, or do you want like more face, more of my ugly mug talking, or is it just building? I just like building videos and stuff, so I kind of just record what I enjoy watching. But let me know in the comments what you guys like, because I can always change it up. I'm going to be doing this anyway, so I might as well just record and throw it up for people to enjoy, and hopefully somebody finds some info that they need. I mean, I know there's tons of YouTube videos, but still. Okay, so all those are on. And I'll get the page open in the book to show you the tightening sequence of it. Okay, I'm going to install the head first, so I can tighten the camshaft down on there once I get everything timed correctly. So I'm just have those like lightly on there for now. Okay, that is on there. Just tap her down. Just very gently, kind of. Seems to be seated good. Okay, nice. Alright, so now we take our new L-ring head studs, because these are torque to yield. So these you need to replace these. I would just recommend always replace them. It's like $50. So just get new ones of these, clean everything up, and very lightly oil it. Just very lightly oil it so it goes in properly and you can like tighten it properly. So I'm gonna clean these and oil them and then get them in. Now with all the bolts lightly clean and greased, slightly, very, very light oil, we're gonna put them all in. Get them started. Okay, so first round is 20 Newton meters or 15 pounds, then 60 Newton meters or 44 pounds, and then we turn an additional 90 degrees, and that's where you get the stretch from. And you start from the intake side, center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You do that in that pass. And that'll ensure you don't warp the head. It's a 15. Not 12. Or 14, sorry. I can't read either. God damn. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. So there's the first round of tightening. Make sure. Okay. Now, 44 foot-pounds, 60 newton meters. And do it in the same order as well. So what I want to do kind of helps to visualize too if you get it like kind of like there. So when setting top dead center for the number 1 cylinder, you want both the intake and exhaust valves closed. So you want the lobes pointing this way, like that. You'll see this lines up like right up and down. That's how you know that this is on the compression stroke of cylinder 1. The crankshaft, as long as number 1 piston is set to top, technically doesn't really matter. You'll have a timing mark on your crank where it'll be like designated, but really you set the timing of your engine based on the cams. You don't set it based on the crank. All right, so now we're going to install the timing components. So you take your little cover. It's kind of a pain in the butt because you have to go like this. For some reason the cover is behind this, so it makes it a pain in the butt. You get that there. This guy. This guy. So I'm gonna kind of go through this backwards because this is a real pain in the ass to do on your own. So this is how you do the timing, right? You have your crank. I might have to zip that off. Hang on. Everything's set back up to 0. So pull this guy off. So in here, on your cover, there's 3 separate lines for setting everything up. So you have, let's see if I can get you close enough to, you can see this line right there, and this dot, that's for your auxiliary shaft timing for this drives your oil pump and your distributor, and on the older engines it drives the fuel pump as well. And then on your main drive, so you have this little plate, this goes in, slots in this way, and you'll have this line here, and this only goes on one way on the crank, and that line will line up with that. If I get you right in front of it, see how that lines up with the rear, right? So that's lined up. Then what you have is right there and in the back, so you'll see it on the cover itself right there between this. So all of those lined up means everything is timed. And this guy right here is a real pain in the butt. So you have to compress this with this thing. I used a bench vise. There was like, I couldn't figure out another way to do this. But once you get it in here, it'll all slide on. There's a little hole that it goes into, and then this goes on here. And this is just your tensioner, and you can tighten that down. And then you have your crank. Push it back down again. One way. And there's a marking on the crank as well. So you'll have your cover plate. It goes like this. I can get it to line up properly anyway. So you have that. And then you'll have this keyed in. And it would go basically the key down. it'll kind of lock in just like that. And then you'll have your 0 lined up with this mark. Let's type it in quick. I have not torqued any of these down yet. I'm just kind of showing you how to do the timing. So you can kind of see this little mark. If I can get the focus for you. That little mark right here lines up with the 0 right here. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but that lines up with that, and that means you're at top dead center of the compression stroke on cylinder 1, and everything's timed properly. And then what we can do is rotate it. Now that everything's in, you can listen for the compression. So hear that? There you go. Now I'm gonna go through and just torque everything down and get the cover all closed up. Okay, so I torqued all of these to 37 foot-pounds. This one, and I put blue Loctite on this one and went to 37 foot-pounds. So they're all tight, torqued. Now I can put the cover back on. It's looking pretty nice.